feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have...
Hello,
That's a
everyone.
bop. Okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of people say that. Jess from How the Will and Asteroid is the one that helped me with my intro. She's helped a lot of people, so that's who we thank for that wonderful intro that she's done for me. As a lot of people are here, thank you so much. But this is another episode of Secular Activism Unfiltered, where we built the community one heathen at a time. And today, our special guest is Misinterpretations Marine.
Marin.
Marin, I
That's
did it
okay.
again.
That's okay. Everybody does it. No, seriously. I answer to anything
Marin,
that starts with
Karen
M.
Marin, and I said it, and I did it again.
It's all right.
Man,
It's
okay,
totally fine.
okay. So, let's give a
I had
brief.
students call me mom, so
Yeah,
and they were like, I'm so sorry. They would be embarrassed. I'm like, if it
my
starts with an
daughter,
M, I answer to it. So
my daughter's a teacher. She's just like third grade, and they
mm,
call her mom. Say, I ain't got one kid.
yeah.
They're calling me mom.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they wouldn't allow no other kids to call me mom. They would get mad as hell. Somebody called me mom that
Oh,
wasn't
really?
them. Or they would get so pissed. Yes.
Yeah. It's too funny.
So tell the audience who you are.
Hey, I'm Marin Dameron, and I have a channel called Ms. Interpretations. And right now I'm doing lives almost every Tuesday evening sometime because I move it around for my guests and make sure I'm not bumping up against other folks. But I have some I guess not live content. I can't think of the word right now, but where I started out covering Greek romances, the Greek novels that were written
Oh.
around the same time as the New Testament, and just
Oh.
to kind of and those stories reflect a lot about the culture. It's kind of like watching a Spider-Man movie or a Marvel movie, right? And so but they were actually, I mean, they were love stories too. So I don't know. So they are wild stories, and a lot of the themes in those stories are familiar to us because we use a lot of those same themes in our current popular movies and stories. But they're also very common because they also a lot of the themes in those stories show up in the New Testament as well. There's a lot of empty tombs. There's crucifixion. There's like being saved from crucifixion. There's slavery and travel and lots of themes that are really kind of fun to see how the culture is laid out. You can kind of get a better picture of what the world of the New Testament is like. So that's and I'm going to get back to those. I haven't finished all of the romances yet, so I'm going to be working on that some this summer. And yeah, and I'm here, and I have studied. I'm a former science teacher, but I also have a couple of degrees in theology and ethics and religion. So that's me. And I'll keep talking until Kelly comes back for me.
I must
So,
but stage. What a science
no
did you
worries.
used to teach?
I taught high school science. I taught public school for 6 years.
Okay.
And because at one point I was considering applying to medical school, I took all the sciences. I took, chemistry and biology, and I took enough that they certified, but I majored in physics, but they certified
Okay.
me in science, which means that I was eligible to teach any science class,
Oh.
even if I hadn't taken a course in it. So my first year, I taught anatomy and physiology, and I'm
Okay.
like, I was on the phone with the principal. I'm like, you understand, I've never taken an anatomy and physiology class, right? Like, yeah. So that was, yeah, yeah. I understand the teachers' world. Like everybody's like, oh, you get the summers off and you get vacations and all this. I'm like, yeah, but I'm working 70 to 80 hours a week during
Yeah.
the school year. So
Yeah,
with
people
all of the
understand.
things, yeah. So I taught biology and chemistry and physics and earth. Did I teach earth science? I think I taught one. I had physical science and all the different things. But then I also taught at a Montessori school
Okay.
for 5 years, and my daughter was one of my students. She was so middle school and high school there, and I had a chance to teach orchestra there. So I taught violin, strings, orchestra, and math and science. So I taught some algebra and calculus too. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
lots of different things. So, but and now I teach violin and viola and piano. That's my job. So yeah, I got out of public school after a while. So
So, do you do private lessons
yeah,
or are you okay?
yeah, and I have an adult group too. I have a group of folks that there's like 6 or 8 of us that there there's 220 somethings and the rest are over 60. It's hysterical. We have a blast. And they've all been playing about 3 or 4 years. So we just have we have it. We have a blast. So
Now I'm gonna must ask some of the people the same questions and to feel what the thing was. But were you ever religious?
yes, I grew up religious. I grew up oh hold on, I just mashed a button. I grew up basically as a Methodist, United
Okay.
Methodist, grew up in a Methodist church. And when I got into, but I went to Catholic grammar school. So
Okay.
I learned a lot about Catholicism. But I kind of felt like an outsider, because I wasn't Catholic, but I went to Mass, every week or every other week or
It was like
something.
every Wednesday for us when I went. I don't know.
I don't even remember if we went
Yeah,
every
I
week.
remember it's
It's
every
one of those.
Wednesday. It
I
was
do
every
remember.
morning.
Yeah, yeah. I know we went a lot. So, and we also had religion classes, right? That was like part of
Yeah.
our curriculum. And so when I was a kid, I really wanted to be like one of those kids where, at Lourdes, who saw the visions of Mary. Like that story just kind of grabbed me. I was like, oh man, I would love to be one of them. I was like, I want to be like that. But when I got into middle school, I I was really active in our youth group. We had a great youth group, but I also, by the time I was in high school, I was going to the Methodist church, but in the evenings I would go to the Baptist church and sing in their youth choir because it was really big and I love music, so I really enjoyed doing that. So I got a lot of Baptist influence as well. So that's like my background before I went to college.
Okay. What does secular activism mean to you beyond rejecting religion?
Well, I'm kind of new to not believing. So, and I did secular activism kind of before I was non-believer, in that it was more political kind of uh, activism, and that was just like, I'm in Podunk, nowhere, South Carolina, so.
Okay.
There's not a lot of more liberal thinkers, but there are some, right? And so we band together, and like one of the biggest things that I did was I actually took my daughter to the Women's March in
Oh,
2017.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, this is iconic, this is epic, this is like, this is going to be a historic march on Washington. So, and she was a senior. Was she a senior in high school, or she was a freshman in college? I can't remember. I guess she was a freshman. But anyway, the point is, we rode on the bus overnight, spent all day in DC, and rode on the bus overnight at home. So
Oh,
I
that
didn't
was
get sleep for 3 days.
that would have been a great experience for
It
her.
was one. It was awesome. It really was. It was a really amazing thing to be a part of, and I I'm really glad we did that. But so I guess when I'm answering this way because I know that secularism is not necessarily anti-theist or atheist,
Yeah,
right? There's a
exactly.
lot of secular activism that um, and the separation of church and state is kind of the main focus that I think of when I think of my activity in secular activism. Um, but as far as becoming a part of um, I guess a deconstruction kind of space. Um, I haven't really done a whole lot except for my channel, which is what I can do. Right? I've talked before about like do what you can do, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more involved. But had a lot of different things going on this year with
Well,
me.
you kind of answered one of my other questions later on, but yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So what what do you respond when someone says you're attacking my religious liberations or my religious liberties? When they get mad when we want to take the space and get angry that they want to have the narrative of this being a Christian nation. How do you feel when they feel that we're just attacking them? When us,
Yeah, I think it has with that question to me, I feel like it depends on the specific kind of situation, right? So, I really need to go back and rehash a video that I've never posted. It's called Sacred and Profane. And and I think when you think about the ethics of getting along in the world, basically I have a need that bumps up against somebody else's need, and that's where we end up in an ethical dilemma, right? So, and what informs those needs can have to do with what you consider to be sacred versus profane. So an easy one to talk about is accessibility to abortion, right?
hmm
And religious beliefs about pro-life being, I mean, I don't like about abortion, anti-abortion, um, religious beliefs about that, and in using those religious beliefs to legislate what everybody has to do, right, is a huge problem. So uh, I don't, I don't I'm trying to think of like a situation where somebody would say that I'm trying to take away their religious freedoms or whatever, but I guess that might be one of them, like, but
Yeah.
but legislating it, right, is legislating a religious belief. So it's a problem. But then I go back to secular ideals that most people would agree with, even whether they're religious or not, and that is that we should care for humans. But then again, in that particular debate, you've got certain needs like butting up against each other. So then you have to go into which humans are we going to care more for in a way we in some ways have to, or what is being a human, right? We have to define all of that. So it gets to be quite messy. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's a simple answer to it. I feel like people can have their religious beliefs, and I feel like I'm really working at like not being judgmental against people who have religious beliefs. I try to attack what I think is harmful. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. The Tommy said it so eloquently. Christians often confuse freedoms with privilege. Yeah, like there's different forms of even Christianity. 40,000, I think I'm hearing, what I heard. But then you
But yeah,
also
like
think
yeah,
about the other kind of religions. They don't talk about Muslims and Hindu, Buddhist, and Satanists and stuff like that. So are they gonna have a space too? And that's the thing. They only want one form. They don't want to open up and allow other people to have a voice.
right,
And that's what I'm fighting for.
right.
Because I know it's different people. And the pro birth thing, the pro life,
Yeah.
that angers me so much because
I'm pro life.
they don't care about the average person. Because once that child is born, whatever happens to that child, they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's sad about it. Like they want to cut off all these organizations to
Hmm.
help children. Hmm.
Right.
But you care about kids so much. Miss me with that.
Well, exactly. And I think that like the nuclear family has been one of the biggest harms, I think, in modern life, thinking that uh, isolating nuclear families is a positive thing when clearly for most of humanity we've lived in bigger communities and multi-generational homes and and you know, if you're talking about biblical marriage, this is the thing that gets me too. Is like most biblical marriage had a whole lot of women, right? And they can help each other, right? You know, even though it's awful and it's you know, women were not, you know, fully human or,
No,
you know, they were
no.
lesser than, but you know, they had community, right? And they had uh more support. So in that way, I
Yeah.
mean, if you had enough money to have more than one wife, then you also had enough money for more support. So
I woke up a couple days ago, yesterday, with a head cold, and it's been getting worse. But I'm here. But anyway,
I'm
what
sorry.
gets me is that it's life. I don't know, but it's like no keeps running. But anyway, but my point is that I've got my point now. Um,
I was talking about women helping each other in multi
yeah,
generational families. Yeah.
exactly. But what gets me is that a lot of white women don't realize they don't that this government don't really care about you either.
Yeah.
They don't care because think about it, they and even with today, they allowed black men to vote before you.
Right. Absolutely.
There was a black man president before there was any woman, whether the white woman didn't make it nor the black woman didn't make it.
Yeah.
And we don't, as women, we don't look at that.
Yeah.
I do.
I think why, but I also think part of that reason is in general, it's because white women have a lot more privilege, right? And so,
They think they do. That's the
well,
sad thing about it.
no, I think that I think there's a certain blindness to all of the benefits. Do I still have my thumb up? I'm way over here. My camera is still. I'm like, yeah, accidentally doing that, and then it
Oh
brings up the
no.
thumbs up. Yeah, so I'm agreeing with what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the point I'm trying to make is that I think there's a lot of women if they have any type of um more support. There's a lot of white women who do not have a lot of money, right? And especially if they're divorced with kids, they have a lot less money, right, than they would if they were married. So there's all of that, but I think, but in general, there's a lot of benefits that I get that I don't even realize that I get just for being just for being white, right? And
Oh
there's a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of there's a lot of
that's true.
blindness to that, right? And 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 so I think there's that fear of change, that fear of doing anything different because they don't want to lose what they got. Um, and I always think of Jerry Clower. I don't know if anybody outside of the South listened to Jerry Clower, comedian in the 70s or 80s, but but he had a bit where it was a woman liber he was reacting to. They were both going on the same show, and and you know I can understand his a white man's perspective, but they were in the green room, and the other guest, the woman, walked in, and he got up and offered his chair to her, and she was like, and the way he said it was like, "No, you sit down, you sit down," and so he did, and then she sat on the floor, and he's like, "Just to embarrass me," but anyway, so uh he asked her, what it is that you're fighting for. And, I used to think this was funny when I was a kid. This was funny. But now I'm like, why did I laugh at this? And you're
Yeah,
just like, for the rights of all women everywhere, that's what I'm fighting for. And he was like, well, let me tell you about mama. And so he was going about like, she doesn't have to she doesn't have to get up out of the bed unless it is to like, open the door for the woman that he hired to take to take care of her house and all this stuff, and mama doesn't want you messing with the deal she got. Like that's the punchline. And it's funny, and it's so true. So I think I think that is part of what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now this other question. Okay, I'm in this question right here. Um, was there a person or organization that influenced in your deconstruction?
Well, I think it's a two-phase answer
Okay,
because when I was in college, the first religion class I took was called Basic Christian Ethics.
okay.
And the professor of that course had been in the sit ins in Winston-Salem with
Oh,
his black students.
okay.
And he had also been to South Africa a number of times during apartheid. And he actually ended up being banned from South Africa because of his activism. And he wrote a book about Byers Nalde, who is an Afrikaner minister in South Africa that was under house arrest because he was speaking out against apartheid and all this. So he was like a really activist kind of person. But he also taught Baptist Sunday school.
Okay.
And so, and there was one day in class where I said, well, before the fall, and he was like, where'd you get that term? That's not in the Bible. The fall? And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it. And I said, point taken. And I shut up. And I talked to him after class, and he was like, this isn't Sunday school. Uh, this is our academic study of religion. But, I would answer you differently if I were teaching Sunday school. I'm like, okay, I get you. But it was also like, where did
I
I
wonder
learn these?
why.
Yeah. But also, where did I learn these things? Like, why do I believe what I believe? And so I started, uh, really thinking about stuff. And part of that basic Christian ethics class, we also did some feminist ethics. So, and that was new then for, I was in the 80s. Okay, I'm just going to say. So,
Yeah.
it was the second wave of 20th century feminism. But anyway, or third, I don't know. I guess it was the third. But the point is that that's where I started. Like so, that particular instructor was really influential in me just starting to question why I believed what I believed. And I got so interested in studying religion that I went to graduate school in religion. So that
Oh wow.
and there I deconstructed. I had to just from all the different things that I was learning, but I didn't do a lot of Bible. I had to take a New Testament class and an Old Testament class, and that was kind of it. The rest were like ethics and
Okay.
literature and religion and stuff. So it was an academic uh, degree, not a divinity degree. So
And they
anyway,
talked about it earlier, but do you have a degree in theological studies or
yeah,
something?
I have a Master of Theological Studies from
Okay.
Emory, and that, but it was from the Candler School of Theology. So I was
Okay.
in classes with divinity students who were there for the
Okay.
3 year degree, but I was doing the
Mm.
2 year master's.
Okay.
And then I went to the University of Southern California in their PhD program in religion and ethics. But I did everything but my dissertation in that program.
Okay.
So I have I ended up with a master's in religion and ethics there.
I look at
So
all these people and all these degrees. I just have an associate in criminal justice. So I feel
well,
so inferior. I say.
you should not. I know it's hard. It's hard for me to say that, right? And that you know because there's so many people who don't have degrees that are so brilliant and do what they do really really well. So I always admire your activism and your getting in there and working and being there for people. So you know everybody does. I mean, maybe I spent so much time in school because I had uh social skill problems. that was not
I
that was
did
not my
too,
way of
though.
going though. Did you?
I still do. I'm
Yeah.
introverted all the way.
Mm,
And then I guess I kind of realized that I might be neurodivergent and stuff, and I didn't realize it. But I didn't know what
yeah.
it was called. But I
Yeah.
knew I was kind of the awkward, weird kid growing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of would stay to myself and everything. But no, I like when my mind concentration.
Yeah.
I lose concentration really quick, and my mind wanders a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like when people, I'm talking to people in an interview, I'm thinking about other things I could say to them while they're talking. So
Yeah.
sometimes I don't. There's sometimes I have to watch the episode um again to get everything that my guest talks about to fully get what they're, because at the during the time when they're talking, I'd
Yeah.
be like, did I ask them this yet? Yep, neurospices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And
That's what
so a
I
lot of
call
times
it.
it does make sense with how some things happened when I was a child and my problems that I had,
Yeah. Same.
my
Yeah.
learning and things like that. And I wish that they had took time out with me, but they did not.
Well, and there's so much that we know now that we didn't then, you know, and like my ADHD, I didn't find out about it until decades later. Like,
That's
you
what I'm
know,
thinking, that I have that, but I'm not diagnosed, so I can't say I have it, but I think I do.
well, I think you can say it whether, I mean, you don't ask, it costs money to get diagnosed, you know? So
Yeah,
I don't think everybody should have to get diagnosed, but if you, you know, there's online screenings and that kind of thing, little tests and stuff that you can take. And so I just acted like I was ADHD, but actually getting the diagnosis for me
hold on, hold on 1 second, y'all.
was really helpful for me. I'll just go ahead and talk about that. But getting the diagnosis was really helpful for me because oh, why is my computer's going to die because my plug is not plugged in. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. I
Well, I
always plug it
did.
in so it won't die. And then I realized, wait a minute. It's just
You
kind of
know,
falling.
I'm one thing I am an advocate is for mental health and everything. And at the age of 30, I did get diagnosed with bipolar.
Mm,
And so when I looked at my life and some of the things that I did or didn't do, it made a
yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of why
And
things, I would go and gamble all my money, some of the sexual exploration that I experienced.
yeah.
And once I went through that, self medicating,
Hmm.
I didn't understand, but I was like, oh shit, this is why
Yeah.
I'm doing those things.
Yeah. Your brain's just
I
different.
was ashamed of myself and didn't tell anybody, but I don't care. Hopefully that my story one day can help somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That they, like I said, your brain's just different, you know, and again, I think there's a whole lot about modern culture that is just really harmful to people, and trying to get everybody to conform to a particular type of way in the world. I mean, especially as we were coming along, you were supposed to get one job and keep it for 30 years and then retire. And I'm like, I don't stay in the same, not only the same type, I don't even stay in the same type of profession for more than like 4 years at a time. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
You look at like with women, it's always a lot of times just us making or staying in a relationship that's bad
Hmm.
because we look at failures if the relationship is over,
Right.
you know.
I was just thinking about that this morning, like, being a good Christian and and
What
forgive,
did you do
forgive,
for that
forgive,
man tonight?
forgive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What
Bless your heart.
what what did you do to make that man not want to be with you? I remember times with like I made a status the other day, and so I'm walking out from work, and this guy's on a speakerphone, hugged his girlfriend, wife, whatever here she was to him, but you could tell she was asleep, and he basically woke her up to make him for her to start running his bathwater. And I can remember relationships and them asking me to cook. I'm getting off of work saying that they were hungry,
Yeah.
and I would get up and cook. But why can't you cook your damn self? But at the age, I was like, well, that's what wives do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, damn, and I said to get up later on to get up for myself to go to work.
Right.
Like I
Right.
work too.
Yeah.
What makes you think I'm supposed to get up and cook you dinner? Or they didn't. Oh, I really didn't want no steak today. I wanted pork chops. Can you make pork chops for me instead? Little stuff like that. Like, but what are you
Yeah.
doing for me
Yeah.
out of the ordinary in this relationship? You're not doing anything.
Right. Right.
But yeah, that's a whole nother tangent I can go on.
It's yeah, but I think it does tie into like wanting to be a good Christian woman, right? And doing what you think that means and what other people think that means. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard though. Okay, so if you could go back to your firmer self and when you was a child and say anything, what would you say?
Oh, I I this always stumps me. Um,
Yeah, I
I think
know.
it's
Yeah,
it's the I think it's the you are going to find your people. And yes, what you think, you're right. You are misunderstood. People don't get you, and they're not going to. So it's okay to stop trying to make people understand you, and you are okay, and you will find your people. Maybe, and if I had someone say that to me sooner, maybe I would have found my people sooner. I tended to, but yeah, I think I think I think my big thing as a kid was like nobody gets me, nobody understands me, and
yeah,
and
that was me
I
too.
and of course, that always is, so what's wrong with me, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with, that it's part of that same thought
Yeah,
process.
I know. Mine, when we talk about the religion aspect, is that some of your questions you had was valid
Right.
because I had questions even as a child about religion, but I didn't have any. When we was kids, there was no internet.
Hmm.
Had to go in the library and use a card catalog and microfiche and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you would have to look in the encyclopedias and things.
Right.
And look,
Right.
I did have a my grandma had a friend that was an atheist,
Yeah.
but he were not able to talk to us about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I could have talked to him, oh
Hmm.
man. And he was a science teacher. He taught chemistry for high school for years. But I mean, if he's such a bad guy that my grandma says, devil worshiper and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you had him with your kids and your grandkids. Can't be that bad of a person.
Right, right. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of theological questions. I think I just kind of glossed over. I never read the Old Testament when I was younger,
Okay.
but I had a friend who did, and she was like, "Have you read this? This is just all about like men having wars and stuff and sleeping around." I
Yeah,
mean, she's like, "This is awful stuff." I don't know. And I'm like, so, but my main question as a child was, why doesn't God answer me?
exactly.
Yeah, that was
Because
my
I
main.
remember, what was it? All the sitcoms that happened, there it always was a episode where they'll be like, God, if you hear me, strike me down with lightning. And then somehow lightning or something always would happen. But it never happened to me.
Mm-mm.
Never.
Yeah, it's
Never.
like I said about like wanting to be one of those kids that saw Mary, It's like I wanted to like
They saw her, you saw
be
her in
sure.
toast. She came in toast and stuff.
Yeah,
Jesus and them. They
Jesus
should have been
toast, yeah.
Jesus toast, Mary toast.
Yeah. Or in the wood grain, right? You could
Yeah. You ever
see
saw them
Mary
with
in the wood
graves and
grain.
stuff? Yeah. So you saw her all around. You just didn't
Hmm.
realize it.
Yeah. I was suppressing it in unrighteousness, I guess.
But that whole story gets to me now. I'm like, she was 14, 15 years old, and God entered her and got her pregnant and stuff. That's the craziest story.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Tommy's
Yeah.
making some valid stuff again.
Yeah, Tommy's got it.
Same, I was always persuaded that God didn't seem obvious, but also guilty because I thought it meant there was something wrong with me. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why I couldn't see God. Like I remember when I went through my baptism. Before I got baptized, I went got baptized through the ice. I got baptized as a child, middle school age, and for the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
But when I went to the ICOC, they said that baptism did not count because you have to have a fresh one when you're reborn and whatever. So everybody at this church that got baptized before me, they let me know I'm gonna feel anew, and I'm gonna feel the Holy Spirit. I feel so great and wonderful. So I'm excited. I'm gonna be baptized.
Yeah.
And after I got baptized, nothing was wrong with me because I didn't feel that spirit in me.
Did you feel
I
any
felt the
difference?
same. It's just exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember sitting there like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, they was faking. They had to have. Because ain't no way in hell
That they felt any different. Yeah.
you felt any different.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something just inside of them because they were so geeked.
Mm.
Or maybe they had to say those things to get somebody else to get baptized too.
Yeah. Or it's just the expectation, and the brain might have just allowed them to, have a different type of feeling. I mean, it could be, to me, I think there were some people that, just kind of faked feeling differently, but then I think there's some people that are able to really convince themselves that they feel something, but then we talked about being neurospicy. I mean, I think that there's certain brain types that are just like, what? Like
What is this?
this is weird, right? Right. So I feel like an outsider everywhere, and now I feel like an outsider in that church community that I'm supposed to be a part of, right? Because I'm not feeling the same things that other people are feeling, but I can't lie to myself about this, and I did lie to myself about a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that it's like, like I'm the only one with the truth and all of that. That's not true. But as far as like the spiritual kind of stuff, um, I still didn't feel the spirit, like that. I did pray a lot and I did feel like I was talking to God, but I never felt confident about, is God talking back to me, or am I doing the right thing? And I think, God, what is God's will for my life? What is God's will? What is God's will? What is God's will? Like that was like an overarching anxiety for me for decades, right? Just like, I'm not going to be able to figure out what is God's will for me, and I could never figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I feel
Yeah,
like I wasted a lot because people were telling me what I should be doing or not doing. And I didn't want to do any of that other people were telling me. But I also couldn't figure out what God was trying to tell me. So I just, I did a lot of floundering. But I learned a lot. So there's that. So I'm not gonna,
I
I
remember
don't
when I
regret
was
it.
about 17 years old. I'm gonna talk about it more in the book that I'm writing, but I had to spend time in a mental hospital first time.
Mm,
And I remember when I had to have my therapy time with my therapist and stuff. First time I ever had therapy. And the therapist, she was like, "What do you want to do in your life? What are the goals you have for yourself?" And I sat there and was talking about what my parents wanted, what the boyfriend I had at the time wanted. She says, "No, honey, what do you want?" So I spent my whole time, and even just recently, where I stopped looking into other people and focus on what I wanted to do in my life and not caring if somebody didn't what I wanted. But even at 17, I wanted to make my mom happy, my dad happy, the guy I was talking
mm-hmm.
to happy, and everything. And I neglected myself for so many years.
Yeah.
Then it became more my children wanted as well.
Right.
So I went
Right.
on the back burner of everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you might have been like me in ways too. Like I had feminist ideas and thoughts, and women are equal, and fighting for things like that, but still putting myself second, right?
Yeah,
Because the culture, in a way, kind of demanded
yeah.
it. So,
But yeah, I don't never I'm some things I went through I never would like go through those things again. But
yeah,
I just sat there and I was like, well, I don't. I said, well, my mom wants me to do this. No, sweetheart. What do you want to do?
I struggled with that like decades.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, because
yeah.
I've never been allowed to, I wasn't
Think
allowed to to answer that question, or when I tried
exactly,
to, I was always, there was a lot of pushback, right? And that's not really what you
exactly,
want. Yeah, 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 yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Tommy's talking too about being autistic, and faking is
Yes.
almost literally painful. And um, I just in the past few years gotten my diagnosis for autism, and it just helped reframe my entire, like, oh gosh, maybe people were telling me, maybe people were telling me not to be this way, not to be that way, not to be this way, because I was acting weird and I didn't know it.
My oldest
I think
son is autistic,
mm,
and they don't really label it anymore. But at the
yeah,
time it got labeled, it was called Asperger's.
right, yeah,
But it's not called that anymore. But that's what, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
yeah, so I understand.
I think this is connected to that question of like, well, what do you want? And it's like, I have been masking, I have been trying to be okay for other people for so much of my life. And tied up in that is being okay for God, right? Being what a religious person should be, what a good Christian is supposed to be. Like, eh, so learning to not mask all the time was is a huge difference in life, and part of it is what you just said, like, I'm going to live for me, what I think, what I want to do. And I think there's a lot of pushback for women on that because, well, you're being a bitch or you're being, self-centered and narcissistic. And it's like,
The angry black woman, I get that a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Just angry.
Mm-hmm. Angry feminist is what or
Yeah.
yeah, self-centered, narcissistic, and it's like, I'm a good Southern girl. The last thing I want to be is like, self-centered.
Yeah, I was
So,
definitely not. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, angry, yeah. Yeah,
so,
but I mean, like, I'm not it's making me so bad now. Taking the word that we created or that we use for a signal of being aware of what's going on and using that woke.
yeah,
You're taking out of context and it pisses me off. No, we are aware of everything. They're saying we just aware of what's going on in in what's going on in our lives. No, we see wokeness means that you're aware of your surroundings, no matter what it is.
yeah,
The
yeah,
unfair treatment of everybody. We're not just looking at ourselves and unfair treatments of ourselves.
yeah,
So them saying you're woke.
yeah. I,
What's what's other besides being woke? Being asleep? I don't want to be asleep.
right? You're like,
I
is
want to know
that
what the
like,
hell's
why is
going on.
that bad?
You're woke.
Yeah, you're what? Yeah.
Oh,
Why don't you join
please
me? Wake up.
wake up. No.
Yeah. I think
Put
that,
these glasses on. Everybody's a lot of us they live. He,
yeah,
him, and I can't think of what Roddy Piper's character because he had no name in the movie, but the Keith Davis character put the glasses on, and they fought.
yeah, yeah,
You put the glasses on, you said, "Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I think reclaiming language is a part of that as well, and uh, that's why, I mean, that's why I think like music and song and all that is really important to
oh,
like to
definitely,
people in general, just because
definitely,
it changes,
definitely."
but especially in like rap culture, right? Saying what's happening, saying what this is what life is like, and
You get
reclaiming.
the
Yeah.
new rap is different. You get the old school rap. They more so with self positivity and stuff like the
Yeah.
KRS ones and the Public Enemies. Those rappers more talked about being self sufficient as a black person and a
Hmm.
lot of lessons and things like that. Rappers, but I mean, it's not even just a rap. A lot of the songs now, period, they don't really talk about positivity anymore. It's just
Yeah.
about how many girls can you bang
There's a
and
lot of
stuff
that.
like that.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
this doesn't
that.
even matter. And it's not only just the rap songs too, though.
No, it is. I know. It's like, okay, all right, well, yeah, okay.
The country
Which
you
is
talk
fine.
about a being
Like,
in the
there's,
Chevy truck, driving in my Chevy truck.
yeah, I mean, that's, but that's not all there is to life. And also, like, that's what I'm saying is like there's so much music that's political, right? And can be used that way, and ought to. I think it's like, any kind of art is an expression about reflecting culture and being counterculture. And
Yeah.
I think all that's really important too. So, especially for people who can't write stuff like that, but they have a voice when they sing along to it,
Yeah.
makes a difference, I think. And being part of a community, there's like I think that's one reason that music has been so important to me in my life, is because when I had problems in middle school, hey Steve, um, when I
Yes.
had problems in middle school socializing at lunch, because all of a sudden the only way to be popular was to be popular with the guys. If the guys liked you, you were popular. And I was like, and I knew this, as a 12-year-old. I looked around and I thought, I am not going to act like those girls that are just flirt, 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 flirt. Like
Yeah, I'm
I'm
there.
not doing that. So I had lunch in the band room every day. I would practice or I just hang out with my band friends. So like, and then but I had that community. I had that camaraderie, even though I was in a lot of different clubs and stuff in high school. But like that was my main identity, and being in orchestra and having that community. So, but and also practicing for hours was my therapy. It was like
Okay.
my nonverbal therapy. Like I wasn't allowed to go and talk to people about how I was feeling. And I mean, I've struggled with depression my whole life. And and I mean, I feel I'm well treated now, I feel like. And I think a lot of it is just being treated for ADHD makes a difference. Yeah, band nerds unite. Yep, that's good. But yeah, I
Where
mean
did you
that's
used to? What instrument did you used to play, Tommy?
yeah, tell us what you played. I played
Yeah.
clarinet and band and then violin and orchestra. So
Oh, that's
that's what I did.
nice.
Yeah.
I was majorette, so I did not play an
Awesome.
instrument.
See, but you're a nerd too. You're a band nerd too.
I was majorette.
You're
I
one
didn't
of
want to be no
us.
cheerleader. Fuck them cheerleaders.
I tried out in junior high once. I mean, that tells you how old I am. I went to junior high and not middle school. But
Well, we all
yeah.
had it all in one. My kid, my
Oh, did you?
KZ.
That's not
Yeah.
percussion. Ah, that's
Let me see.
right. You're a percussionist. I forgot. Tommy, that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh man, and you
Man,
still play the drums?
that is
Oh,
awesome.
I
I'm so
always,
glad.
I always wanted to play the drums, but my mom wouldn't let me because she said it's too damn noisy, that damn loud shit. So I was not able to play the drum. That's the only instrument because it makes that's the beat.
Yeah, well, listen, I tell
Drums
you,
is everything.
I'm really impressed with percussionists and in
Yeah,
general because one reason I quit sports for music is large muscle group motor coordination is not my that's not my thing. Oh, you had a metal band. Oh, I was in a rock band when I was 13. I sang in a rock band.
yeah.
So that was my
I
first.
tried to do a little something. I talked about it in Neil 604's show, but I was very good friends with Aaliyah, the singer who died years ago. And so
Yeah.
we had a little band that we went on. Of course, she was better than us, but it was funny. Like in school, we would both audition for the plays, and of
Yeah.
course, she would make the play, and I would be in the play.
Yeah.
But like she would do like Annie, cause she'd be Annie,
Yeah.
and I
Wow.
would be Pepper,
Yeah.
the older girl who was harassing Molly. It'd be her, or I'd be the lost boy, and she would be Peter Pan.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow. Yeah, such a shame. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and a lot of
amazing that
people
you were
don't realize.
friends.
Yeah, I mean, she went to the same. But technically, my brother and her brother were best friends in
So
second grade.
you were theater nerds together. See, the theater is also a place for us neurodivergent
Yeah,
folks too.
and one of the greatest memories I had of she was 4 years younger than me, but I love Gloria Estefan as a singer.
Oh yeah.
And when I started listening to her Latin, it was a whole different than her American singer
Mm.
singing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Leah learnt one of my favorite Gloria Estefan songs, that sang to me in Latin, in Spanish. That was
Spanish,
like,
yeah.
man. But yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and when I just said I got baptized in the Catholic faith when I was younger, her parents were my godparents, as they
Oh,
say.
that's amazing.
But yeah,
That's
they were
great.
there. But yeah, but I don't. Yeah, it's whatever. But um, I was train of thought what I was talking about that for. But
Well, we're just talking about
that
different
was
types of community and different types of
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so I remember a lot of times she would that would her and her family the only ones that I really talked to and everything. Is it AJ?
Yeah, I was reading that and I didn't hear what you said. Hey AJ.
Yeah, yeah, AJ, hey, AJ,
What'd you
yeah.
just say? I'm sorry. Squirrel.
um, sometimes she was one of the only people that I would really talk to and
Wow.
everything.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. It's not. It's so many memories that I had with her,
Yeah.
But I don't really like. Oh, I like the term guide parents.
Mm.
That's a good term. But they be like godparents. But technically, nobody's really godparent, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way her mom and dad looked out for me and stuff like that, and it's just so many. Oh, I want to see that pictures of him with spikes, and
I know. I mean, now you're tempting us, Steve.
I know you got to show proof of that. Where's the proof?
Oh my gosh. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
so but and but she was one of the instrumental people me growing up and everything,
Yeah, I bet.
you
That's
know.
amazing.
And I
Yeah.
would sit there and would say things, and I would show her my writing. When I was younger, I was a writer, and I did go under alias name.
Yeah.
So some of my stuff I can't find it anymore because I didn't go under my real name.
Yeah.
And this was like in the 80s, or I was like in literary magazines and stuff like that.
Cool.
So that's how I got a lot of my things out, writing songs and
So, like, you're
stuff. And
published. I'm not published. You talk about me being educated, but you're actually published. That's awesome.
yeah, it was the different like magazines and things like that.
Yeah,
And
but still.
well, that's how I got my way to get out. And
Yeah.
I remember it was one that I wrote. And so yeah, the first one I got wrote, it was published in a newspaper. I was like in the fifth grade.
Cool.
I don't even know how the
That's
hell that
really neat.
happened, but I was. I wish I could find it though,
I
because it was a cute
know.
little thing that I wrote. It was like a page long in the newspaper,
Yeah. That's
and I
awesome.
wrote an article and stuff like that. But many times I wrote how I felt and
If it's in the
things.
newspaper, you could
Well,
find it.
this is like in '85 though.
Yeah, but microfiche, you know, it's
I
on
do. I
microfiche
if I can
somewhere.
if I can't find
Yeah.
it through Google, I
Yeah.
can
You
find it
go to
through
the
Google
library. Librarians are awesome. They'll help you find
because
it.
I was trying to look because I talked about how the I went to my Catholic school and how the teacher was at a racist term there, and it was all in the news. Everything I cannot find anything about that, but
Mm.
I'm like, damn. But I remember that happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's
Yeah. I think you,
um
yeah. Yeah. Oh, you got to put that 9-year-old Kelly's article.
yeah,
That's awesome.
fuck the system.
Hmm.
This was a book we. What they did was every one thing. I was such a nerd. I read every required reading book on the list, even the extra credit books.
Nice.
I got teased so much for doing that. Then they had a special reading thing that happened in the library. I went there to my local library every Saturday
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I would read the books there.
Yep.
Then the Pizza Hut had the pizza program. I did those books too. Whatever I could do, that's what I did. I sat down and I read. And I
Yeah.
remember getting in trouble after I read all the books. I started reading, and I don't know if y'all remember the Sweet Dream books. They
I,
were the romance book. They called Sweet Dream.
I
Then there
see
was
the
Sweet
picture.
Valley.
I see the picture of it, like the cover of it, but I never read
There
them.
were a whole bunch of them books, not just one.
Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
Sweet Valley High books. I read all
Hmm.
those books. Then they had the Adventures in Baby Center books. I read all those books, and I'm getting in trouble because I'm like 12 years old started reading these books, and
Yeah.
it says 14 and up,
Yeah.
so I would get in trouble.
Yeah.
And some of those books they eventually made to movies, like P.S. I Love You.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was an amazing book. But getting in trouble
Well, it
because
sounds
they,
like you were using reading like I was using practicing, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I was able to escape.
Mm,
Yep,
yeah.
Babysitter Club. Yep,
Babysitters Club, yeah.
I read all those books.
I read Are You There, God? It's Me,
Nancy
Margaret.
Drew, Nancy Drew,
Nancy, oh man, that's how I started to love reading. Was in fourth grade. We had Nancy Drew books in our library. I read every single
Little
one.
House on the Prairie books. I
Little
read
House
all
on the
those
Prairie.
books.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they came to the TV series, I watched all those too.
All of them. I love that series. So
Yeah, but that was my little bubble. What I did,
yeah,
so I was able to escape and
yeah,
pretend that I was a whole another world and things like that. That's how I
yeah,
probably was able to maintain my childhood.
yeah, Yeah, but that's one, I mean, again, you've talked about just not having the degrees, but you've probably read more than most Americans. I mean,
Yeah.
just yeah. So
Because I
I'm just
remember
saying.
they would get mad when we have to read stuff like Black Boy, No Yeller, and
Mm,
things like that. But I excitedly read those books. I know why the Cage Bird sings. How many books are
yeah.
banned now? Go figure.
My
And
daughter's in a band book club. Like they
oh,
read
that's
banned books.
nice.
Yeah, she's an activist for books
Now,
and banned books.
I'm glad those Mark Twain books got banned. I was glad about that
Mm,
because them made me mad.
yeah.
Like Jim was free and they ain't tell him.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Like my
think I read.
girls they read Harry Potter books. I didn't read those books because they were young. I liked the movies, but the books were kind of written for younger people,
Yeah. Yeah,
and it
Miranda
was
is talking about
Twilights and stuff.
Narnia. I read the Narnia books like every couple of years. I'd go through and read all of them again. Like in my
The
20s and
Narnia
30s, I
book,
still do.
I didn't read those books, but I like the movies.
Oh, well, you would like the books. I mean, you just read, they're just fun to read through. So,
I had no concentration. I'm doing so much
well,
now.
right now, but see, you
Now
can
I'm
concentrate. You read a lot of
lazy.
books. It's just what you're interested in.
No, I'm lazy.
Sounds like it. No, 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 no.
You can just give me an audible. I'll
There's
just
no such thing
audible.
as being lazy. That's not true.
You
It's a
you were just
farce.
giving me an audible book.
It's a lie.
I'll
There's
give
no
me an
lazy.
audible book.
There's want to do or not want to do. That's all. That is all.
Now
So,
let's go and go back to a little bit
okay.
to the secular activism part. What's more dangerous, blind belief or silent disbelief?
Dangerous how?
Um, let me get that together. Um, Seeing something in the religious um aspect and you not knowing about it or knowing about it and you not saying anything about it.
Hmm. I think I think the not knowing about it is more dangerous
Okay.
for the person who doesn't know and the other people around them. So, like, not recognizing the harm that a lot of belief systems cause is just perpetuating trauma, not unknowingly, but mostly on the self. Like the idea in Christianity that we are not worth anything, that we're, just sinners and, and everything that's good is God and everything that's bad is us. I think that's like a really, really, really harmful belief, and not recognizing that that's part of it is really bad. When I think of like knowing stuff and not what was the second part of the question, like not saying something or not
Silent, where you keeping silent
silence,
about
yeah,
what's going on.
yeah. I think
It was me.
there's there's a whole lot of reasons to stay not knowing. There's a lot of reasons, and I think it has to do with like cultural pressure, like to not see the negative stuff or not see, how that. I think there's a lot of, and also there's a lot of cultural pressure not to speak up if you do see it and you can't, and right because there's a that social
Damn.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That social conformity is what is the goal, not necessarily the truth of it. So like not speaking up, sometimes it's a protection thing. Um, because there can be a lot of loss if you of your community and that kind of thing
Yeah.
if you do speak up, and a lot of like what yeah. But I think also if like I'm pretty newly deconverted. I say my deconstruction happened a long time ago and more recently deconverted, and not
How long ago has it been about, dear? Remember?
Uh, about my voice is crying. About a year and a half, really.
Okay.
Not even 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you really came out and doing a lot so far. It took me I've been deconstructed maybe 9 years, maybe 10 years next year.
yeah.
It took me years to get to where you are now.
No, I was deconstructed in my 20s. I deconstructed
Oh,
religion. I
okay.
deconstructed, like, and I really, just stayed in religious community. I still felt like I was a Christian. I just was, I just thought of everything really mythically and
Okay.
metaphorically, right?
Okay.
And so that was an I was able to do that for a really long time, but then deconverted just like 2 years ago when I was like, I really don't believe this. I really it's yeah. I just there's less and less and less. So like I don't talk to my friends about it really.
That's hard to do.
There's a
I got
few
you.
people. Most of my friends are online now anyway. but like I'll just say, I just don't believe the same way anymore, and that's most of the conversation. Sometimes they ask me questions and I'm like, well, here's why, you know.
Yeah. Cause
So
it be sometimes like like they'll be trying to hang out. Because I don't even want to hang out because it's always diverts to why I'm atheist, and I don't want to hear all that. Can we just eat
yeah.
some slice of pizza and hang out?
Yeah.
I'm talking about why I don't believe anymore.
Yeah.
Now, this question kind of answered it, and I kind of believe I would know your answer. But for my content creators, do you see yourself as an activist or just a content creator who happens to be secular?
I'm becoming more activist, but in
Okay.
some ways I'm kind of an activist for other people who've deconstructed.
Okay.
So I'm not anti-theist, right? I don't want to try to destroy religion because I think that's like not possible because
I
we're
don't think
human.
that means you're going to destroy religion, though.
Yeah, but I do want to be supportive of people who are deconstructing and meet people kind of where they are. Uh, it really upsets me when I hear people say, "Oh, I wasted so much time. I wasted so much money. I wasted," and have regrets about believing for so long. I think that, of course you did. Of course you believed. That's your culture. That's what your, I mean, I just feel like it's being hard on yourself for no reason. We're humans, and humans all around the planet for millions of years have had religion. So I don't think that it's like, oh, why did I believe this for so long? I
Yeah.
question it myself. I'm like, why did I believe this for so long? But I got over being upset with myself for it and I because I see because it's what humans do.
Yeah,
So
because that's hard. Like, how are you going to not believe in most situations if that's what's embedded to you since you were a little kid?
mhm,
This
mhm,
is true. This is true. This is true. This is true.
right.
So it's hard for you to, hey, wait, maybe this isn't true. Everywhere you go,
Mhm.
that's all you see is religion is true.
Right. And I think the thing that broke my spell basically was studying cults. Just got really interested in studying Scientology and the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints and
Yeah.
lots of different cults. And when I learned about that, it was like, wait a second, I've been indoctrinated, and and that's kind of what broke the spell for me.
Okay. We got to get on and get finished with these because I do have to go be the mom. Sugar, my lord, sugar. Sugar goes in here and she's outside the room and she's so adamant about coming in here. Why am I in this room closed off? So she wants to come in here with me, but then she's mad because she's in here now and she wants to get out.
Oh yeah, my dog does that too. I just don't bring him in anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, but my daughter let him in. I let her
Ah,
in. I mean, let her in.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay. So What's a flaw inside the secular community we don't talk about enough? Come here. Come here, girl. Come on. Come on, little girl. Come on. There we
Puppy.
go. Come on, my love. Come on. Have enough shit. Come on. There go the
Oh,
baby.
just sweet
There go the
puppy.
baby. There go my baby.
That's so sweet. Just wants to be with you. That's all.
Hello, my
Baby,
love.
baby. What a
So,
cutie.
what is a flaw inside the circular community we don't talk
Hmm.
about enough? Hi.
I will, yeah. I mean, I think some things are kind of being talked about, but I think there's flaws. I think there's just like any community, there's going to be mean people and not good people, and so I think uh, I don't know. It's maybe just my personal opinion, but people who yell at people for still believing
Yeah, that's
that
not
bothers
good.
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think not and yeah. So I just okay. Yeah, I get that there's a lot of harm in a lot of religious beliefs, but that's not going to help anybody. So I think, or looking down on, or saying that being a believer is a pathology. That is
yeah,
that really upsets me. That really gets me. That's like just first of all, it's not true, or that they have any type of psychological problem or whatever. It's like, or that they're stupid, and I'm like, I mean, maybe it's self-preservation because I don't think I'm stupid. I don't think I had a whole lot of psychological problems when I was a believer. Like I'm not a different person now that I just don't think it's true anymore. It's just, it's
I can't really say that this is true or not, but a lot of times the real religious people, a lot of times, they've been schizophrenic. The
mm,
ones, the ones that got a friend
the
and
hear
God
God.
is, yeah, and they really put God up. Like, oh, they go really crazy. The regular person go to church on Sunday and say prayer, them okay. But it's some of the ones that's really be so devout
Yeah,
and and
yeah,
talking about demons and stuff like that. No,
yeah,
you hear other voices. That's not God talking to you, sweetheart.
yeah.
Chemical imbalance
Yeah.
in your brain, honey.
I mean, there's lots of different things that, that it could be delusion or,
Yeah,
or addiction or, like there's a lot of extremes, I think. But that's in any community as well, I think it's
that's
but I
what we
mean, I've been
thinking
accused of
about.
being in a cult as a non-believer, right? As an
Yeah,
atheist, but
same.
now I'm in a cult and I'm like,
That's what they say to me.
yeah.
You in that you in that atheist cult.
Yeah. Nobody here's trying to tell me how to be. So,
I don't have to be here. I can walk away and leave anytime I want to leave.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just enjoy being here.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
We don't have to go into details of this, but have you lost family, friends, opportunities because of your stance?
I think there's a lot of
I
some
have. I would just say
have
that.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I there's close people in my life that just don't know how to talk to me anymore.
Okay.
And so I think there's just like a little weirdness. But again, I'm kind of new to this whole thing. So
Yes.
and I don't talk about it a whole lot except online. Which
Yeah.
has been a problem too, for some folks. And so, yeah, and and I'm not worried about like not having people around me that don't get me because it's been kind of my whole life anyway, especially in a small town in South Carolina. So it's like but yeah, I do. I think, there are people who really just don't know what to do with me. They don't get it at all, and it's upsetting to them. Um, and I, you know, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to lose. It's not like I'm mad at God or anything. I just there's no God to be mad at.
Exactly.
So it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I can't make it make sense
Exactly.
anymore.
Because like I remember a couple years ago. Well, over 10 years now because I've been in it for 10 years now, and I remember like I just understand like my mom. She never really went fully to church. Sometimes she did,
Mm-hmm.
but I went to church more than my mom did.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And so when I remember the one time she just went and joined my church just because she knows it's gonna make me feel good. And after she joined the church, she stopped going.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, but she's act like she's so religious and everything. I'm like, you're not really religious like that.
Yeah. I mean, that was confusing to me and my
A lot of
family
people
too.
they don't you
Yeah.
don't go to church once a year, twice a year. Excuse me, sugar.
Yeah.
Once, twice a year, and then you act like you're so much better than I am because you say there's a God. Then that means that you're lukewarm. Sugar, honey, come here, my love. There we go. There the baby. They're my little girl.
She's
Okay,
cute.
so now, well, you basically say you mostly been online. You don't really have any online persona. I mean, person persona. So that other this question won't really. I won't ask this other question, but I will ask this question. The last question: what short-term goal do you have for yourself, and how, if possible, can we help?
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, so my short term goal is to produce more YouTube content and grow my YouTube channel some.
So
Right.
like, share, subscribe. That's
Like,
what
share, subscribe. Ms. Dot
that's your
Interpretations. Yeah.
short-term
Yeah.
goal.
No
Yes.
spaces. It's just Ms. Dot Interpretations. Um, I, but right now, also, Neurospicy, I only have the bandwidth for doing like one live a week. I'm hoping this
Okay.
summer when I'm not teaching, I'm going to be able to do some more curated content, which that's my goal too, is to do a little bit more of that. But right now, I've been doing like 3 lives a month. That I
Oh,
take
you
off.
monetized yet?
No, I'm 500 subscribers and like 1,000 hours. I need 2 more 1,000 hours of watch time. So
You gotta
if
get
you just
you gotta
want
get
to,
them hours in
I
so that
know, just put my channel on at night and go to
we can
sleep.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah. But it'll come. I'm growing. It's just not, and I know if I make more content, it will grow more. But yeah, but I'm in this community. I know he sent you to
yes,
Wookiee. It's so
yeah.
cute. So
Take
yeah,
it
so
easy.
my goal is mostly just, yeah. So if you just watch and share and that kind of thing, and I really enjoy being a part of the community. And I'm not trying to make a
Yes,
living off of YouTube yet, but one day I would like to. But
I
um,
just want enough to pay for my uh
StreamYard and
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, the
same,
apps that I need for the videos and stuff.
yeah.
I want to get editing software and stuff. That was that's what I would like.
Amber, have you considered choosing violence?
Every day, all
Mama.
day. These hands used to be,
Oh
but
my
yeah,
gosh. Yeah, yeah. So that's but thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah.
So most of the time, most Tuesdays I'll have something at sometime in the evening, um, on Tuesday evenings. But yeah, I'm working on doing a little bit more. Tommy, I emailed you. I hope I haven't checked yet to see if you responded. So
Yes, yes.
check your email. Okay.
Tommy and Matt will be
And
on
Matt.
my show on the 15th.
Awesome.
That
Good.
same day, Mark Reed will be on my show later on.
Wow, yeah, it's a busy day.
And
Yeah, you're
then
doing
I'm
a lot.
having my in person event earlier. So I got two interviews plus in my in person event
Yeah, so the next
on the
day should
same
be
day.
nothing,
On the
nothing,
same
right?
day.
Take some
On the
time off.
same day.
Okay,
I try to
good.
get as much interviews and stuff. I'm trying to do so.
Yay. Is
My
that a
segment
balloons? Yeah, I don't know.
and what I'm doing now
What is that?
is I don't sugar. The segment that
Doesn't do.
I have, but I'm gonna talk more of the commentary editing
Mm,
will be called the the Queen rant. So, but I haven't really worked on that because I haven't really done anything, the editing software and stuff. Put that together if I do that.
yeah.
I tried to do the alternative faith discussions, but I've not found anybody that's pagan or Buddhist or
Mm,
Satanist that wants to be interviewed. So I
yeah.
might just drop that and just deal with my secular activism unfiltered and my
Yeah.
sovereign um intimacy show. That's gonna be on 6 o'clock. tonight. It's my first episode with that.
I saw that was coming up. Okay. All right.
So I do want to have a group of women that was in a purity culture, talk to them. I want to talk to people that live that kink lifestyle, talk to
Mm-hmm.
them, different aspects, those that might be anti kink or anti people, find out what they think of their mindset and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to do everything that, and he said he responded to you.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. That's good. Hey, Noise
Yeah,
Engineer. Thanks for
we
showing
have to
up.
stick together and stuff like that. We
Yeah.
just share each other. You have them, I have them.
That's right. That's right.
everybody
That's how
just
we get
pass
to know each
along.
other too,
Everybody
right?
just pass along. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good
Exactly.
Lord. Okay.
All right. Well, unfortunately,
Yeah, I
because we
gotta
had
go.
yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta
I
go
gotta
teach
go.
some
Yeah.
makeup lessons. So
Yes. I thank everyone for tuning in. Right after this, in the cut is gonna come on at 1 o'clock. So if you can tune into that, Cynthia and Mandisa are gonna talk about women's history, Women's
awesome.
Month. So that'll be on. I might be on the air for a little bit, but I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to just lay in the back and with the sugar and just chill.
That's good.
Everybody have a good day. I will see you guys later on. I'll be on air again at 6 p.m. with my first sovereign intimacy guest, Goddess Nikki. She is
Awesome.
a sugar damn. She is a professional dominatrix.
That's okay, Noise India. You can do the replay crew. I appreciate you showing
Goodbye
up. So
everyone.
y'all take care.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.